And welcome back. This is episode number 22, Man Sharpens Man, and this is your host, LJ, formerly known as State Rays, in case you're confused right now because you skipped an episode or two because you're fucking cheating up on the list and just doing the odds or evens, or if you don't like the first couple minutes, whatever. I don't care. I don't blame you. If you're listening to this, I love you. Don't feel guilt. But my name is LJ now. Then flip the script. I was going by State Raised at first because that's what this podcast was kind of about, my life in prison. So the little sticker, State Raised, I was like, yeah, that sounds like a good name. So I just went with a fucking, seriously, you're a douche. If you pick your own fucking nickname, you're a douchebag. And I realized that. That was that first thing. I was going to try to lie and tell you I really changed it for other reasons. But I changed to LJ because I realized, like, real talk, man. Like, this ain't even on the fucking sheet. This is just real talk with you guys because I love all my audience, all three of you. Fucking State Raised has not ever been a fucking nickname of mine. It was some shit I thought of. It was my own nickname. And I've always thought thinking of your own fucking nickname is douchey. No matter what it is, it's just fucking douchey. If other motherfuckers are calling you Luscious or fucking Muscles or fucking Tank or something, then you deserve to be called that. But if just out of the fucking blue you're like, hey, you should call me fucking Tank. It's like, no. I knew a motherfucker in the joint. Let's get right to the joint talk. I knew this motherfucker's name was Dirty Game. And, I shouldn't have even started like that because I used to call him Edwards. And fuck you, Edwards. But he expected other motherfuckers to call him Dirty Game. I never called him that shit. He was a big old Mike Tyson-looking motherfucker with a square head, too. I wasn't scared of his ass. I ain't no beast. All of y'all that know me know I ain't no giant beast. Little time out for Mountain Dew. Ooh, delicious Mountain Dew. So cold and refreshing. Get you out and get some Mountain Dew. Sounded like they're sponsoring me, doesn't it? They're not. But if they want to... See how good I am at Mountain Dew? Mountain Dew, you could have them hear that every fucking couple minutes if you paid me money. No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't dilute the show with that. But anyhow, motherfucking Dirty Game. Ugh, what a piece of shit. And it's like, no, I'm not going to call you Dirty Game. I'm going to call you Edwards, homeboy, because that's what it says on your little blue name tag. You're motherfucking Edwards to me. That's it. So me and Edwards never got along, needless to say. We did live in the same rock. I think eventually he came to respect me a little bit, and he just didn't like when I talked to him. He tried to keep the use of his name down because everyone else would call him Dirty Game. But to me, that's a mouthful, and I knew he had given himself that nickname. So, and even if he didn't, it was a shitty nickname. So anyhow, this is episode 22 of Man Sharpens Man. Welcome back. I've been missing you guys. I have been so fucking busy with other shit in my life, and I'm sorry. I'm fucking sorry I've been gone. I really am. I cannot get away from the show for that long. I get away... And the longer you're away from something, the more likely you are not to come back to it. And this shit almost became a shelved project. I'm not even going to lie. I started doing stand-up, and, seriously, it didn't take that much of my time away, but it just felt like it was. It felt like it was taking more time, so it just sucked some energy, I guess, away from the show for a little while. And I didn't want to do the show if I didn't have the right energy. I can't sit down and be fake and pump some energy to you guys if I don't actually have it. So energy's back, show's back. We're going to be back on every week. I see how well the two complement each other, like fucking cigarettes and coffee, or like cigarettes and sex, or, man, I guess I kind of miss smoking a little bit and don't even fucking realize it. No, they're like coffee and chocolate, or like sunsets and puppies. They're like good things together, not bad things, not like heroin and baths. No, those aren't good. For Whitney Houston and her daughter, those are actually bad things, I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure they taught the world, Jimi Hendrix, few people have taught the world that although heroin and baths feel good together, they don't go good together. But welcome back to number 22. Boy, I've done a lot of episodes, and let me look over here at my cheat sheet and see what we're going to talk about. Oh, first thing on the list, the thing I started talking about and got sidetracked with a joke on, because it was just how the universe works, is comedy. I've been getting into fucking comedy. And it's not like I'm doing fucking paid gigs or no shit like that. I'm doing stand-up at open mics and shit like that. But it's kind of what I've always wanted to do. But I was too scared. When they let me out of the joint, man, you don't want to... When you're on parole, like I know some listeners, you've probably been on fucking probation or parole, man. If you're out at night, you have half a fucking beer, like they try to throw you in jail for any kind of shit. So, I lived under a rock for a long time. So now it's like, fuck it, peeled the rock back. This show was kind of the first step of that. And now that the rock has been peeled back, I'm ready to fucking rock and roll. And I've been hitting these mics. I've been doing it, and it's been it's fun. It's soul cleansing. I can't believe how honest I'm able to be when I get up there. I was afraid that I wouldn't be able to, because I knew that my whole shtick is just me being me. I just got to get up there and just fucking, just man sharp as man, baby. I just got to be me. I got to be I got to be LJ. That's who I am. I mean, that's I'm not state raised. I know you guys are like, oh, I'm kind of. If you guys got used to state raised, I'm sorry. But seriously, I had made up that name. LJ was what everyone called me because, let's explain. I'm going to tell you the origins of LJ. It's very fucking complicated. My name is John, and there's the J. And I'm like 5 foot nothing, as people like to say. I'm like 5'6" or 7 or something. I mean, it's just a mean shit they like to say to short people. Whatever. That's why I'm Little John. It's just that simple. There was lots of Johns. I was the littlest one, so they called me Little John for a while, just for a tiny moment. It sounds like a fucking pet name. I hated it. I would rebel against it, and so they switched it to LJ. People started calling me LJ. I think the name Little John felt weird in their mouths too. So, and I was glad they switched it to LJ because it was shortly before Little John came out, and that motherfucker, he can have Little John. I didn't want it. I didn't want it anyhow. It's not the fucking Friar Tuck guy is Little John. Little John. You guys heard me like that joint. Now you can tell I lit it too. Getting a speech impediment now. There's a guy that works at this McDonald's up by my house that has a speech impediment, but he is the fucking coolest guy I've ever met in my life. And I was like, this is really cool because, school is fucking brutal. And it's like for this guy to come up through school and go through the brutality that I know he must have went through and still be a cool motherfucker, he's like double extra cool. So shout out to you, guy up at the McDonald's. I know you guys check me out on the old YouTube and shit. So shout out to you, guy that's got the speech impediment. You know who you are. I know you listen to the show too. So shout out, brother. I love you though. I love the McFrappes. I still feel like I should be able. I go up there and I get a McFrappe with no whipped cream, and I feel like I should get to do the whip it. I feel like that's like a fucking entitlement. I should be allowed to do a whip it. I'm not getting the whipped cream. I should get that little bit of pressure out of the can still and a little pick me up. It's like a little espresso in there. But no, I've been doing the open mic, man, and I fucking traveled. I went to Gaylord. That was the first, so I did my first little bit of traveling. I just got off the phone with a buddy of mine, Luis Valencia. He's going to be on the show next week, so there's something to get excited about. See, I came back right at the perfect time. Luis is what I would call, I'm just going to call it like it is. I'd say Luis is like a low, mid-range comic. Now, I'm not talking about his talent. This motherfucker's funny as shit. Like, he is funny. Like, he's funny without even trying to be funny. Just he'd fucking smile and make you laugh. This dude is a fucking ruckus. But he's like, in his career, he's a young dude. Like, I don't even know how old he is. He's probably in his, I don't know. I'm so immature. I always look at people and think they're older than me. I'll look at people that are like 22 and be like, that guy's probably older than me. Like, Abercrombie Fitch model, he's probably older than me. But no. I'm just young at heart, unfortunately, and old at erections. But no, Luis is a funny-ass fucking dude. And he's going to be on the show next week because he's going to be up here. And like I said, he's like a low, mid-range comedian. He's getting paid for gigs here and there. He's also doing open mic still and trying to promote his brand and promote his name. I think even a lot of your bigger comedians are still doing open mics and shit. It's where they started, and it's where, it's their roots. Nothing that says you can't show up for a little 15, 20 minutes on an open mic, even if you're a Jerry Seinfeld or somebody. I mean, I'm not vouching for Jerry Seinfeld. Don't take that. Like, I just said Jerry Seinfeld because he's a fucking big comedian. Like, I watched the Seinfeld show and shit. It was funny, don't get me wrong, but I'm just, as far as stand-up goes, I don't know. I need it a little bit dirty. If you're going to be telling me just jokes, I don't want a bunch of uncle jokes. That's what, Uncle Jerry was. Just too clean for me. But then again, when I was young, I didn't appreciate comedy in that time like I would now. If I watched it now, I'd have a better appreciation for it than I did before. Now that I'm actually been up there and tried it a couple times, and I tell you what, recording this show and putting it on the air, there was some apprehension. I'm not even gonna fucking lie. And when I first heard my own voice, it was like fucking nails on a blackboard. It was horrible. To sit and edit the show was fucking torture. It was like watching my parents have sex. It was like the last fucking thing I want to do in this earth is edit this fucking show. Listen to my own crappy, just to me, I sound apologetic and whiny sometimes. I don't know. I hope I don't sound that way to you guys. But once in a while, I do. I almost sound like I'm making excuses for myself when I'm listening. I don't know. But anyhow, I got to do what I got to do. But anyhow, I've been doing the open fucking mic, and it's been going good, but it's fucking terrifying up on stage. So if you want to do an open mic, like, you should. Like, if you got one in your town, you should do it. Because when I say it's terrifying, it's not terrifying in like a bungee jumping, I'm going to maybe die, or skydiving or some shit like that, or I'm going to go on safari, or it's not in that one that I might catch malaria, exciting type things. It's safe excitement. You can get, and it gets you jacked up. I'm not even going to lie. I know it'll shock you when I tell you that I've done a couple kinds of drugs in my life. And so far, I'd have to say my favorite is getting up on the stage. It is such a good metaphor to compare it to drugs, because it does harm you in a lot of ways. It is very addictive in a lot of ways. It's very stimulating, rewarding, blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of fucking crosses I could draw between it and drugs. Well, I could draw a lot of crosses, that's for sure. But I'm not going to really make them comparisons all right now. We'll just stay off that. But I'm just saying the comedy is a fun fucking thing. If you think about doing it, you should fucking go do it. I'm just trying to encourage you. I'm giving you your daily fucking encouragements. There's your daily words of encouragement. Now let's get back to last week's show. I wanted to come back to something. I was here with Dave. We got our stoner cliffhanger of the fucking moment. Started talking about Rudy. If anyone's come back for this episode because they want to figure out why the fuck I had started talking about Rudy, and they were, I promised I'd talk about it. So I had started talking about Rudy because he had worked in a woman's prison. And he used to tell me some stories about them bitches. They were fucking 10 times more thug than the motherfucking dude inmates. Like, stabbings, whoopings, just crazy shit. And those are some hard lesbians. Like, they are not your cutesy, Cinemax, Showtime type fucking jail-looking lesbians. These women are hardcore, and they do not fucking play. I told him one time, as I was joking around with him, I said, yeah, I wouldn't mind getting raped in a woman's prison. He said, yeah, you think so, but these bitches that still butt rape you, they ain't soft. They still going to take some butt from you, motherfucker. Like, they're going to lick a plunger, stick it to their fucking groin, and fuck you. They don't play. They're not going to romanticize you and ride that dick. They're going to rape you like you were a woman. They're just going to put a towel over your shit. Like, there's some hardcore lesbians in there. They're going to put a towel over your dick and pretend you're a woman and rape you in the butt. See, I told you I've been doing stand-up. Look how much dirtier your homeboys got. But, yep, that was why I had started talking about Rudy. Not so I could make weird, disgusting jokes about prison rape, but just because he had worked in a women's prison, and he had given me that little base where he was just like, man, you should check these fucking... You think these guys are cold-blooded. They ain't doing shit. Women are bouncing weight plates off each other's heads like every other day. You guys are doing it twice a month. Like, you guys ain't shit. Like, he wasn't trying to agitate us either. He was just keeping it real because he had worked there and stuff. Rudy was a real dude. Like I said in the last episode, if you guys missed out on it, he was the kind of inmate that would smoke. He was the kind of guard that would smoke some weed with the inmates. Like, he didn't give a shit. If he knew he was going to get away with it, he'd get away with it. And he would just, I don't want to say he was doing it to be cool because that sounds fucking shitty, but he was a cool dude that would do things because he was cool. Like, let us steal juice out of the kitchen and make wine, and, what the fuck is the harm? The juice is for us. Let us make some wine out of it. We'll all skip juice tomorrow morning. No one cares. Oh, we're out of juice. Oh, oops, no one gets juice. We all get an orange. But everyone on the rock gets drunk. That's just how it works in there. They only have a limited supply if you steal it all to make wine. See, that's why they know. They keep counting on shit. They know wine's being made. They come looking for it. You got to be slick in there. You have got to be slick in there. That's why people get out of there and are still criminals to such a degree. LJ, your dog, I'm not a criminal, but I'm saying a lot of people get up out of there and they go to the straight being a criminal, because in there you are committing crimes right in front of the police's faces. Like, you are busting the law right in front of them. So you come out to this world, and it is soft out here. You could get away with shit anywhere you want. You could shoplift, do it. I'm trying to encourage you to do bad. Don't do bad, especially if you've been to jail. I'm just saying, when you've been to jail, it puts a different edge on you. Where, like, people are not paying attention. Even the people that are paid to pay attention aren't paying attention. Look how many people they got sneaking into the goddamn White House lawns and shit like that. Crazy shit like that going on. How about that president of ours? He's doing great, isn't he? Boy, I don't care if you're liberal or Democrat or whatever you are, but this government of ours, they cannot fucking get along. When Baraki was in there, they had the Tea Party fighting against him, and everything he said was stupid and nana boo boo, stick your head in doo doo. And now Trump's up in there, and he's got a big old, I don't know what you want, a Tea Party on the other side. What's the opposite of a T, an upside down T? Like a finger in the air. The finger in the air Liberal Party telling them you ain't getting shit done. Don't get me wrong. I know Trump's a shithead. I look at his orange-haired ass. I know he's a shithead. I'm not trying to endorse Trump, but I'm also not trying to trash him. I feel like we're never going to get shit done if everyone's just like, no. They just deny every fucking idea just because it was his. He don't even, it's, it's like you don't even finish saying what he's going to say, and they're like, no, no. And he's like, just hear me. No, no. And so, I don't know. I don't got a lot of hope. I never have. Once you get locked up for 10 years for nothing, you don't exactly think your government's a well-oiled machine. It's like shooting a fucking 9mm and it blows up and takes your eye out. Maybe you start shooting 38s or something. You at least change caliber is all I'm saying. So I know the government is not a fucking well-oiled machine. It does not function perfectly all the time. As a matter of fact, it happens to function quite imperfectly quite often. And there's fucking many broken eggs with all the omelets our government's making. We all know that. So I won't whine about that too much. I'm not the anti-government dude. I'm not the conspiracy dude. I know that they're too dumb to be committing too many conspiracies. That should be out in the open. Those motherfuckers are dumb as shit. Ooh, excuse me, people. Excuse me. But anyhow, I'll try to edit that out. That'll be a good experiment for me. If I didn't edit that out, that means I failed at that experiment. You guys can tease me. And that's another thing I want to get to. I need some comments. I need some feedback. I need life in this show. You guys are my audience. You guys are my crowd. Give me some fucking comments. Give me some direction. What do you guys want to hear? I spent 10 fucking years in prison, man. I went through a long time in there. You want to hear about me getting out? You want to hear about me being in? You want to hear about me being crazy? You want to hear about me being a good kid? One thing I will tell you about being a good kid in prison. Everyone goes to prison and acts like they found fucking God in there. God is not in prison. Unless you're in prison, and then God happens to be in prison. And most people in prison don't realize that. They think, and a lot of them, they can't realize that. If you're doing life, you don't want to be like, well, you only get to live this one life. You want to pretend like you're going to die and come into a new life that's super similar to this one, so you got kind of a second chance at being a decent motherfucker. So you don't really, you get to believe in the old Bible a lot, where you're like, oh, take me in your arms, Jesus. And if that's your gig, that's your gig. But when I was in the joint, every time I went to the church, it was full of pedophiles. Bottom line, I'm telling you. And that was the first thing that drove me away from church. I was like, I'm not going to that fucking church full of pedophiles. And then I started getting off into the Buddhist thing. And booyah, I was free. Instantly, I was free. The fucking walls fell down around me. I was just a free person. I couldn't believe it. The fucking religion was super fucking simple. It was easy to get. It wasn't based on a bunch of guilt and bullshit and feeling bad about for shit you done. It was about feeling good for shit you were about to do. I mean, it was just an all in all very appealing fucking thing. And the farther I got into it, the more I realized, man, I'm not even in prison. Like, the people in the world running through their day, not able to slow down and look at their own self and look at the wrinkles in their hands and just appreciate their fucking life for a moment, those are the people that are prisoners. And the more I realize that, and the more I kind of, and that's the sad thing. I'll tell you guys, that's a real sad thing. I hope none of you guys have to go to prison to learn this lesson, but if you do, you'll get there and find out real quick that there's no Buddhist services in most of the prisons. Like, if you want to learn any kind of Buddhist, they don't perceive it as a religion because it doesn't have a deities per se. I mean, you have Buddha and a few different things you could talk about, but there's no big deity. They don't really have like a church service for Buddhists and stuff. So it's like, since it falls into this other type category for them, and it's not Christian or Muslim or Jewish or like one of the things that's going to sue them, they don't fuck with it. They just don't have a service for it. So if you want to pursue something like that, it's all on your own. But the plus to that is you don't have to go to a room full of child molesters looking for forgiveness for touching their nephews and shit. And I'm sure some of them were in there for something they didn't do too, but that doesn't mean that your old boy, Little John, didn't give him some shit. Because I used to give them child molesters shit, that's for sure. Ooh, look at that. I've been going on for almost 20 minutes. I kind of wanted to keep this one short. I got a couple of plugs to do now. Look at that. Like I said, I'm doing comedy, so now I got plugs to do. April 10th and the 24th, I'm going to be at the Workshop Brewery, and the 10th is right around the corner. That's this Monday, and today is Thursday, so I'll probably put this up on Friday. So this Monday, April 10th at the Workshop, going to see your boy there, 8 o'clock, and on the 24th, and at the 18th, downtown Traverse City at the Distillery. So if you want to check out any of those shows, that one's at 8 o'clock too. They're all downtown Traverse City. If you're from Traverse City, if you want to travel to Traverse City, come out and check us out. It's a great time. The Rotten Cherries is a great time. The Distillery is a kamikaze open mic is what it's called. It's a good time. It's a new one. It's just starting, we'll see how it goes. The first week was all right. There was a smattering of people there, probably 7 to 10 people, and then last week it was a bomb. Just no one showed up. It's just it's a place that just serves fucking liquor. If you like liquor, come there to drink. But if you don't like liquor, come there for the comedy. But if they serve more than liquor, I don't know. I'm not going to question their business model. I'm glad that they let us do comedy there. So shout out to the distillery. If you guys they have some, I ordered a whiskey drink there. It tasted like a caramel apple. It was delicious. It was delicious and got me way too drunk way too quickly. It was like a sneaky drunk. It tasted so delicious. And I was like, well, this candy-ass drink isn't going to get me drunk. And then, pow. So, yeah, they got some delicious booze there, but just serving the hard liquor, boy. At least it's in a place where there's shitty parking, so it doesn't really encourage drunk driving. You're gonna have to at least walk a few blocks to your car. But if you want to come down, check that out. If you're downtown Traverse City, boy, I'm not really helping the distillery's cause any. It sounds pretty crappy, but seriously, they got some fucking great booze. Come check it out. It's on the corner of Cass and Front there. So anyhow, this is LJ. I'm signing out. This is Man Sharpens Man. Peace, pot, and microdot.